And his title will be Gift of Giving. Gift of Giving, Miraj Patel.
Thank you. All right, check, testing. You're on a sunny beach, sombrero on your head, tropical drink in your hand. That's what most people think of Mexico when they think about Mexico and their holiday there. But when I think about Mexico, I think of a hammer in one hand and a nail in the other. My 2012 Mexico trip, I built a house with my sister and my father and I, and also 7 other families. It started on December 25th. Actually, it started in October when my father and my mother came up to me and said, Miraj, you have a chance of getting 50 service hours by going to Mexico. I didn't even ask what the trip was. I just wanted 50 service hours because the requirement was 40. Then when we went to the first meeting with 7 other families, they told me, you're going around Mexico and building a house. I was completely surprised about the idea. I've heard of it, but I heard of it with huge groups of people, like hundreds of people building a house. But then we had 7 other families, and they told us each one of us to raise $1,000 each by the end of the month to actually complete this project. And we did it. By the end of October and beginning of November, we had all our money together. And every weekend, me and my dad spent every weekend at Home Depot, Lowe's, Harbor Freight, buying hammers, different size knee pads, every tool you can think of. And then, when our trip came up on December 25th, I was really excited, but scared too. I thought, why am I wasting my Christmas day to go build a house? But then it actually happened. We got to Mexico. When we crossed the border with my sister and my father, on the right, we saw people picking up garbage, salvaging anything they could, and trying to sell it. And on the left, we saw military personnel carrying machine guns, and they didn't look scared to use them. Everyone was scared. But when we got to the orphanage, it all changed. We were staying at the orphanage with about 20 other orphans down there. And when we got there was a language barrier between us, but that didn't stop any of us. We saw kids running around and we played with them. I played basketball, football with them, and we had a great time for hours. At the end of the day, we went down to our construction site. We were going to build the house the next day, and we saw the cement platform we were going to build the house. And we just also met the family. We introduced each one of ourselves to the family members, and we saw they were really nice people, and they were going to help us out with it too. They had 2 younger children. We went back to the orphanage that day, we had dinner, and we played a little bit more. And the next day when we woke up, everyone was excited. Most of the people forgot to make their lunch. That's how excited they were, and we just wanted to rush into our back of our white pickup trucks and ride down to our site. When we got there, everyone jumped out of the car, and my dad, being in charge of the whole house building, told everyone what to do. We all got our hammers out, ready to nail, and when we first built the first 2 walls of the house, everyone was surprised. It took a while. It took 1 day to build 2 walls of this house, and we were in there for 3 days. We built the first 2 walls, and the next day we set them up. Everyone looked at our progress, and some people were in tears, because it's a really emotional experience. The next day we built another 2 walls, and we came up really fast. And once we finished the second 2 walls, and put all 4 walls up together, it looked like nearly a finished house apart from the roof. We finished the roof, and once we finished the roof with all the wood and everything, it was a finished house. We just needed to paint it and put the tar paper on the top. Once everything was done, that's when we knew what we'd done to help this family. That was the emotional part. But when we were handing the keys over, the family was crying. The moms were crying. All the kids were emotional. And I'm not a crying type of guy, and I felt like crying. That's how emotional it was. When we handed the keys over, it was the best feeling you could ever feel. They were standing there thanking us. They couldn't stop thanking us. And when we got back in the car to go back to the orphanage for our last day, everyone had a warm feeling in their heart. Nobody knew it felt like this because it was our first experience building a house. And this experience has changed my life forever. I've always been the type of guy that will help out if there's something comes around, but never to go around saying, oh yeah, I want to build a house again, but I would love to. And if you guys might say, oh cool, service learning, I want to do that for high school, but it's not like that. You should help out other people. And this experience has taught me that. And when I went to share the story with my family, the people who were giving me this $1,000, the $1,000 that we need to raise each family, they were super excited too, and they want to do it too. And I think it would be a great experience for everyone to try out. Thank you.